So you're definitely going to learn a lot of interesting things about Juno in this Mythbuster episode, but a lot of the myths that were submitted to me to test were already answered in a previous Juno ability breakdown video, so definitely watch that one as well if you feel like you had a myth that wasn't answered in this video. Anyways, here we go. Does Mediblaster's smiley face reveal a Sombra while she's invisible? Alright, let me explain. When you look up close at the Mediblaster weapon, you can see a smiley face when you're looking at a friendly target. But if you look at an enemy, it's a sad, angry face. So what happens if they go invisible? Do you get any information when you hover over them? Unfortunately not. Do Pulsar Torpedoes have a maximum chase range before they explode? So as long as the torpedo has been locked on and the projectile is launched, it will chase the target forever unless they break out of line of sight. So no, there is no maximum range. Once Pulsar Torpedoes are locked in, can enemies just line up behind one target and have the person in the front tank all the hits? Here we go, we have a bunch of targets locked in, and then the Roadhog eats all of the projectiles. So yeah, it's similar to like how it is with Cassidy High New. Just line up behind a teammate and they should tank it for you. Do Genji Deflected Pulsar Torpedoes home right back to Juno? So let's run a couple of tests here. Here we deflect it right back at Juno by looking at her, but what if we look away? Does it home back? And it doesn't look like it does. It only goes directly where the Genji is looking. Can Juno launch the Pulsar Torpedoes through Symmetra's teleporter? A lot of random projectiles and stuff can fly through the Sim TP, so it's worth a shot, and here we're sending a couple of heals through it, but unfortunately it doesn't TP through. Do the Pulsar Torpedoes track Symmetra or any target that uses the teleporter? So here, let's lock onto the Symmetra, and as she TPs, the torpedoes will follow it to the new XYZ location as long as you have line of sight. So yes, it does follow. Do Pulsar Torpedoes get amplified through Baptiste's amp matrix? Pulsar Torpedoes do 85 damage, and here you can see it does 170. So yes, it gets amplified and does double. The same goes for the healing as well, 170 heals. Do the Pulsar Torpedoes track Tracer after she recalls? We'll lock a torpedo on Tracer, throw in a few blinks as well, and as soon as the recall happens, you can see the torpedo does not chase nor re-seek her after she reappears. Do Pulsar Torpedoes chase Sombra while invisible? For friendly Sombras, absolutely. You still have line of sight of them. For an enemy Sombra, you can see it kind of just loses track of her and just heads off into a straight line. And then if you're trying to lock onto the Sombra and she goes invisible before you launch, you can't even fire it altogether. Do Pulsar Torpedoes track Sombra after she translocates? So similar to Tracer's recall, you'd think that the torpedo would lose line of sight the moment she teleports, but actually it doesn't. It actually chases Sombra. However, the moment she does go invisible, it will lose line of sight, even if it kind of half chases after the translocate, as you can see here. Do Pulsar Torpedoes track Moira when she fades? This interaction behaves like you would expect. As soon as she fades, you lose line of sight, so it does not track Moira. Do Pulsar Torpedoes get Mercy damage boosted before firing? So if you damage boost, fire the torpedo, and then let go of the damage boost, the damage is amplified. So amping before launching is how you're supposed to do it. And just to double check, we tried firing the torpedo and damage boosting mid-flight to see, and yeah, it doesn't get amped here. Can Pulsar Torpedoes healing be boosted by Ana's Biotic Grenade? We need to know our base healing first, so it's 85 on impact and then a bit of heal over time to reach 135 HP of healing. Here we'll throw the nade, and then the impact you can see is amplified, and the heal over time is amplified as long as the effect is running, but as soon as the effect runs out, even the heal over time doesn't get amplified anymore, so it just works exactly how you'd expect. Does Hyper Ring persist after swapping heroes? So the moment you swap heroes, everything that exists with the hero is gone immediately, including the Hyper Ring. But movement speed does persist even after the ring is removed, so it's worth it to swap to Juno to speedring her team out, and then swap out if you don't plan on playing her. Can Hyper Ring be eaten by D.Va's Defense Matrix or Sigma's Kinetic Grasp? The answer is no, because it doesn't count as a true projectile. It just passes through D.Va's Defense Matrix, it passes through shields, and you can see here, Sigmas suck as well. Does Hyper Ring collide with Petal Platform or Ice Wall? Remember how I said it doesn't collide with shields like Sigma's or Rhines earlier? Well, it does collide with Petal Platform or Ice Wall, as you can see, so hard surfaces like this do block it. Does Hyper Ring extend the distance of Doomfist's Rocket Punch? So here's a baseline Rocket Punch without any jump cancels, and you can see the speed ring doesn't change that at all. But if we include the jump cancel that a lot of Doomfists obviously use within it, it does actually increase it slightly. However, one thing we've noticed is that if you accidentally mess up the timing because your speed is a little different, you actually do this little dead jump. Do throwables like Symmetra turrets, Ash Dynamite travel faster when used through Hyper Ring? If we look carefully here, the Dynamite seems to be traveling at its normal speed. Same with the Symmetra turrets, there's no effect that the Hyper Ring has on throwables. Does Bob run faster through Hyper Ring? Oh yeah, he's definitely going faster. He's speedy. Does Junkrat's Riptire move faster through Hyper Ring? The quick answer is no. It acts similarly to like Sim turrets, Ash Dynamite from the myth before. It's not like Bob, where Bob is actually like a targetable player. Can Hyper Ring be thrown through Symmetra's teleporter? This one's always a good one to test because things like Sim turrets, which is a throwable, can go through it. So it's like, is this Hyper Ring a throwable? In this example though, it does not go through the teleporter, so looks like a no. Does Sombra's EMP remove Juno's Hyper Ring? Easy answer, no. Can heroes receive the Hyper Ring boost if using Symmetra's TP between it? Basically what we're checking here is if the XYZ intersects with the Juno speed ring at any point during the TP, and it looks like it does not. Can a hero be life gripped through Hyper Ring and receive the speed boost afterwards? Looks like a yes. You can see Cass is moving way quicker. And Juno Glide Boost over the roof of the first attacker spawn in Eichenwalde. So Juno's Glide Boost normally locks you into one plane, but if you push your body up against slanted objects or map environments, you can go up vertically. So on Eichenwalde, it is a little bit slanted here. So if you rub your body up here, you can actually go up and over for a nasty flank. Can Juno Glide Boost over Hollywood's first little security room to the front of the high ground of the point? The answer is yes, just another example of utilizing the map geometry to go vertically with the Glide Boost. This is just one of the many Juno rollouts you can perform. Does Juno's Orbital Ray require people to have line of sight of the center? No, it does not, because you can see this ultimate's inside the room, and as long as you're touching any part of the ring, you're getting the benefit of the heal and damage boost, so you don't need line of sight. Does Sombra's EMP remove Juno's Orbital Ray? Once the ray is out, the EMP does not do a thing to it, but if you get EMP'd early in the cast animation, you will lose your ultimate completely. If it's kind of like halfway through, it still goes out, so there's a bit of timing here. Does Kitsune Rush increase the tick rate of Orbital Ray's healing? This one's an important one to check because if you watched the old Mythbusters from a long time ago, we did check Kitsune Rush with Coalescence, and it does improve Coalescence healing and damage. So let's check Orbital Ray here, and it looks like it has no effect. So good thing we checked. No change. And that's all for the Juno Myths. Leave some more in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.